Hey guys, welcome. If you are new or just passing through to my channel, welcome. My name is Tam. I'm also known as the Enlightened Auntie. If you're returning, welcome back, squad. I am here today to do another general collective reading. We're not sign specific here. We're also gender fluid. I may say you and I'm talking to them. I may say them, I'm talking to you. Put yourself in the story wherever you seem to fit. Remember that time and energy are fluid, so I could be talking about the recent past, the present, or the future. Take the parts that resonate for you now, leave the rest behind. If you'd like to book a personal more aligned with your own story, all of my information is below in the description box, and I invite you to join me for a session. If you are relatively new to my channel, do note that my readings kind of reach into the future just a little bit, so you might want to go back into my archives, maybe 6 to 8 months. You might find some titles back there that resonate more for you now in the present. All right. Thank you guys so much for being patient with me. I know I've been gone for a really long time. But today I finally got like the nudge that it was okay for me to go back to work, because I swear the last couple of weeks have been really hard, having everybody home and then trying to prepare for the holiday and trying to maintain my schedule with my clients, and it started getting real complicated because I'm not used to working with everybody being at home. So the house was really active, the energy was really, like, not high intensity, but I just think everybody was just really anticipating the holidays. So the energy was a little bit different than what it normally is in the house. And I was splitting myself in various directions, trying to be present for everybody, and I had to stop and be present for myself. So thank you to, actually, I'm gonna call y'all out. Thank you to Leah. Thank you to Michaela, and thank you Fiona for reminding me. This is when when your clients kind of become your little cyber friends. I had people reminding me, like, stop, just don't worry about the people, don't worry about the channel, don't worry about anything, just focus on yourself, enjoy your holidays, spend some time just kind of vibing out, and that's exactly what I did. But it's very unusual for me, like rest and downtime. I don't really know what that is. So it was kind of refreshing to just kind of flow. And even in the back of my mind, I'm like, oh my God, I haven't recorded. Just being really present in the moment and being present with my family and spending time, like truly spending time with my family. Like it's been very beneficial. So I hope you guys had a wonderful holiday. I have missed you terribly. But before we get into the reading, I also want to shout out another tribe member, Lena Natalie. I actually have her listed in the description box below. Her website is listed. She is a numerologist, and yesterday I had a reading with her. She booked a reading with me a while back, and offered to do a numerology reading for me, and I was like, yeah, sure. Normally I very rarely accept offers when people want to do readings for me, because I can do it myself. But she did this full reading, gave me a full report. It comes with information on your life path number, and then she breaks down based on your personal numerology, your name, your birth date, like, and even the name that you go by. Like, so say if you don't necessarily go by your government birth name and you go by a different name, it changes the energy just a little bit. And she's not an astrologer, so it was kind of interesting when I went over some of the information. It tracked very closely with the upcoming astrology, because she goes month by month to tell you what the themes are and what to look for, and very, very beneficial. So if you are interested in having a numerology reading and report done, Lena Natalie, numerology.com. All of her information is below, but get with her. This was really cool. All right, so let's get into it. Let's get into it and see what Spirit wants to talk about. I hope everybody had a really peaceful holiday. Like, no drama, no BS. Like, no BS, All right, let's tap in and see what's going on. What does Spirit want us to know about? Core energy. going on? I'm like, that's interesting. Okay, I'm looking at this a couple different ways. You may have someone that wants to work with you, or you may be working collaboratively with someone else, a couple of other people. Um, on one hand, I can see where somebody may want to work with you. You may not be inclined to participate. On the other hand, you could be already actively working with people and you're being very guarded and closed off about what you're working on together. Okay. I love this. What do you got going on? Interesting. I'm like, I don't even know. And honestly, I haven't tossed cards. Um, I mean, I did a reading yesterday. No, day before yesterday. Um, this is interesting. Okay, so in the recent past, I'm kind of going back to the center because I'm like, what are you working on? Because this feels very much like think tank, like thinking of all the different ways that maybe you're thinking about all the different ways you can get your content or whatever out to the masses, looking at the various avenues of how you can work with people. I'm also getting an energy because I do see a number of like a number of options, right? I see a number of options, and I think that maybe this is kind of like weighing your options. Okay, somebody's weighing their options, but I'm kind of this is an interesting energy going into the future because it feels like a lot of hesitation. Maybe this is something that you've never done before, so there's some reluctance in moving forward. This is something that you've never done before, maybe. Okay. I'm like, where are we going with this? What's in the environment? One more. Okay. All right. So, I'm like, I see how it connects to the what's going on in the future, because I feel like there's something, and I feel like this doesn't. It feels like a delay, but it feels like a delay, like like not something or someone delaying you. It feels more like you delaying you. It feels like, because remember when I said down here, I was like maybe it's something new that you're getting involved in, or something new that you're working on. You've never, I don't think that you've ever done it before. It could have something to do with a public platform or something that engages or puts you in connection with the public. But in the environment, it kind of feels like I'm laying the cards out. It kind of feels like going back to the drawing board. It kind of feels like going back to the drawing board. Like you're not necessarily stopping the progress, but it does feel like maybe you're not, I don't know. This energy almost feels like maybe not as committed to it as whatever this is, you're maybe not as committed to it as you initially felt. So that makes sense, going back to the drawing board. Because over here, you're deciding to kind of table it for a little while. I'm going to think about it. I'm going to stop taking action towards it. I'm going to stop taking action towards it. I think I need to focus on something else. It's like you're not putting an end to it. You're not tabling it for good. You're just kind of putting it on pause. You're putting it on pause. Okay, whatever this is. All right, what's in the background? Yeah, you're not, it's like it's not tabled for good, but temporarily, we'll call it. Oh. Okay. Remember when I said in the beginning, I'm like, maybe you've been kind of tossing around the different methods of how to get your product, whatever you do. I'm like, I don't know what this is. But whatever you are learning about, whatever you have, there's a passion that comes with it. But whatever that is, you're tabling it for right now, because, and it doesn't mean that the opportunity isn't still there, because it's still here. So it doesn't change the fact that whatever you have is actually viable. You got a couple of different, I guess, options or areas or different directions that you could go in. And I think what this is asking you to do is maybe narrow it down to one. Yes, narrow down to one. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yes. Okay. Okay. I'm like, I don't know what this is. I kind of think I know what this is for myself. I'm like, I don't know what it is for you. But there might be something that you need to... Okay. Remember I said you may have a couple of different irons in the fire. And again, you may need to narrow it down into the... Because the way that I'm seeing it, it's kind of like you need to narrow... You got this vast... I'm going to use art terminology. You got a big blank canvas, right? And you could paint this picture any way you want to. You got several different ideas in your head, but you can't paint. Well, I mean, you could. I'm like, you can't paint 7 pictures on one canvas. You actually could, but you got to be real creative about it. But I think what you're being challenged to do right now is to pick one. Because there is something that maybe is causing you, and there's a situation here that maybe you've been engaged with it or dealing with it for a long time, or maybe you used to have love for it, and maybe that the love affair of you and this thing, the energy is starting to wane, so it doesn't feel as exciting anymore. It's not really, I don't know, maybe it's not taking you where you thought it would take you. And so maybe there's an avenue here. You have to make your mind up, though. You have to really analyze what truly holds value to you and the scope of all of the things that you're doing. And then here it's like making the decision to kind of like just leave it where it is and move on to the next. Because I think it's ambitious to think that you can do everything. Okay, I hear the message for myself now when I'm speaking. It's ambitious to think that you can do it all, but if you try, it's going to create burnout. And not just that, but it's also going to, it's like, think of, you have a bunch of irons in the fire, and I feel like what you're adding, this is adding to it. This is adding one additional iron. And I think by doing that, it's going to cause you to be in a position of having to really juggle it all. And here's the thing. Yes, you may absolutely be able to juggle it all. But at what cost? At what cost? Because there may be something here that you are spending time. Oh my God, I hear the message for myself. There's something that you're spending time on. But I don't think it doesn't give you, I don't know, it's not giving you the warm fuzzies anymore. You know, like maybe it did at one point. You had a real love for it, and it gave you back the same level of love that you poured into it, and you're just, I don't know, maybe you're just not getting that now. So now you're at a critical point where you need to make a decision about what are you loyal to? Where do your loyalties stand? What of the environment and situation of all the things that you are focused on, of those things, what holds the greatest value, and what parts can kind of get left behind. Not, and I mean, and this isn't to say, I mean, I'm not going much further here, but it doesn't mean that you can't go back and revisit it at another time. It just means maybe now, maybe you've run its, whatever this is, it's run its course at this point, up to this point, and now it's time to move on to something else. And I think part of your decision here is because you've been thinking, oh, I know at least 3 people I can send this to. You got a couple of things going on, and I feel like if you add one more thing to it, because I think on the like on the surface, you don't really, like, you're managing it all, and you don't really want things to change too much, right? But I kind of feel like if you add one more thing to the already full plate, something will eventually fall by the wayside, and you're probably not going to like the outcome of how that all plays out. So I kind of feel like it's best that you either, now I'm also looking at too, maybe you're considering, I hadn't thought about that. I'm like, I hadn't thought about that. Maybe this, the onset energy is also you contemplating, if you bring someone else on board with you to help you, especially if you are customarily doing everything by yourself. That may also be something else. Okay, that's something to consider. Not for everybody, but that's something to consider. Okay. Wow. This is interesting because the fear is actually within the decision making. Someone here, and I said down here, you've got to like really narrow it down and make a choice. Here, you're afraid to actually make that choice because I think you love all of the things. Like whatever it is that you're doing, like there's a love for all of the things, but I think you're being challenged right now to kind of step out of your comfort zone. Because I feel like the decision that you're making, it should have an element of liberation, freedom. And I'm speaking in those words. I'm being very deliberate in the words that I'm using because you know how I talk about the lovers and the devil, being 2 sides of the same coin. The lovers, you're doing it because it's something that you genuinely want to do that makes your heart race with excitement and you love it, right? But choosing the devil or choosing something that is in alignment with devil energy would be like continuing to do something, but you're only doing it because, you know, on the back end, you're going to get paid for it. Do you know what I mean? But then it keeps you locked into something that, like I said, you don't necessarily have the same kind of passion for it that you did before. So you're afraid. Okay, let's pose it this way. Are you afraid of freedom? Are you afraid of the liberation and freedom of abundant new beginnings? I mean, come on. All right. Like, I know this reading is for everybody, so I'm going to do a second one after this. Okay. I get it. Okay. So part of the blockage is maybe whatever this thing is that you're having to kind of like walk away from, because that's what it looks like to me. It just doesn't give you the same warm fuzzies anymore, right? Part of the blockage is maybe you had an expectation of it doing whatever this is, and I do believe that for those people who this particular reading resonates for, I feel like you already have, I mean, if I already have an idea of what it is for me, you gotta already have an idea of what that thing is. It's not something that it's just like a, you know, a fleeting thing. Like, it's been on your mind for a little bit about, like, what do I do about this though, right? And I think maybe in the past, you may have had expectations of whatever this thing is that you once had great love for. You may have had expectations that it was going to, you know, take off and do something big and monumental, and then it ended up in disappointment because it just didn't turn out the way, it didn't turn out the way that you had expected it to. It's very coded with the upcoming astrology, child. I love the fact, though, that whatever this is, even though it's not, I'm like, even though it's not giving the warm fuzzies, you still have great love for it. There's still potential here. There's still potential here there is still potential here. But again, maybe this is something that needs to be tabled for a period of time. Okay. Oh, I'm kind of like, damn, I know what this is. I know what this is for me. Oh my God. All right, here's the thing. You are still carrying around, I don't want to call it grief. I don't want to call it grief because it doesn't feel like grief. But we'll call it dissatisfaction. Like, you're still carrying around a little bit of the dissatisfaction about how things didn't quite turn out the way that you had expected them to. And maybe you didn't want to face the reality that whatever this is has kind of run its course. Yeah, that's kind of what it looks like. I think you've known, like I just said, I think you may have even known for some time that it was time to hang it up. Whatever this is, you knew it was time to hang it up, and maybe you prolonged it, for whatever reason, because, you believe that you could do it all or whatever. But the reality is that the plans didn't go, the plans weren't planning. They weren't doing what you wanted them to do. While you do still have potential for something outstanding and abundant, I think it is connected better to this new thing that you may have approaching you. I heard pulling up from the rear. So again, and it's funny because they don't have the 10 of Wands out here, but it is definitely giving like you got a bunch of stuff on your plate, or different avenues in the direction that you could go in, but you cannot split yourself in all of these different directions. So you either have to recruit help, and I understand for those of us who are entrepreneurs working on their own stuff, I understand why you would kind of be gatekeepy about what you do and how you do it, and working with a child. I understand. Because it's very difficult to know who to trust. But again, if we're not living on the timeline of, like, how I always say, like, where your mind goes, your energy flows. Like, I don't live in a timeline where I'm constantly having to worry about looking over my shoulder, and I don't exist on that plane. So I feel like you do have people that, and the people, and I'm going to tell you this may be the saving grace for you, that the people that you have some people around you that you already have a developing relationship with. I feel like, and honestly, now that I'm looking at the card here, not only do you have people who would be willing to help you, you have people around you that would be willing to learn from you in order to, because I feel like, here's the thing, there's a lot, child. I'm like, just these two cards right here are saying a lot to me, because I feel like you have people here that are willing to learn from you, to do it like the way that you do it, or learn under your tutelage, like how you do whatever you do, right? They're literally willing to get their hands dirty and, like, I want to say, pick up the slack, work with you. Because this feels kind of like people who are willing to work with you because they also see the goal. They see the bigger picture, and they see where it could actually lead. But I do believe there are people that are already in your life, like I want to say in close proximity, that would be willing to assist you. And I feel like with these additional hands, I think with these additional hands, you'll be able to accomplish a lot more things than you trying to do it by yourself. I'm not telling you what to do, but to consider it, okay? But trust me, I know. Yeah. Okay, this is funny. So part of the lesson, remember when I talked about how you have people who actually genuinely want to learn from you, and alternately, depending on how old you are, you may have somebody in close proximity. If you're not the one that's kind of over the people and instructing and having them learn what you may have people that are in close proximity that have valuable information that you could learn from, because that's also assisting. There's a passage of information here, but this information has the capacity to really, it's kind of like when we talk about working with other people, it's kind of like talking about collectively coming together with a common goal, and everybody, everybody's playing their part, they're playing their role, but every single person brings something to the table that is beneficial to the whole, and together y'all make this, like a platter, like a feast, right? But the lesson here for you is getting over your fear of working with other people. Here it does give me an energy of there's a lot here. It kind of feels like, especially if you're like a content creator, and I'm not necessarily seeing that, but if you are a content creator, 'cause I'm thinking of like examples to use. So it's like, say you're a content creator, right? And theft in that space has been, it's wild. We see it on YouTube where, you've got people that are stealing other people's content and rebranding it and slapping their name on it and all that kind of shit. So I definitely can see where there's some reservation and not wanting to work with other people because you're worried about somebody like stealing your shit, stealing your ideas, stealing your brand, like all of that. I try to understand. But based on the energy that I have out here, part of your lesson has been, it's kind of like overcoming your trust issues. Overcoming your trust issues. I just saw 31:31 on the clock. Overcoming your trust issues enough to where you let your guards down. And I kind of feel like there's really no need. Like, on one hand, yeah, you want to be secretive or whatever. For obvious reasons, right? But what the lesson has been is like learning how to, learning how to better communicate, learning how and what to communicate to whom. Because I feel like that's the one thing that is causing you to not execute your plan the way that you want to. You have something here that seems to be very viable. I'm like, I want to use this deck, but it's too new and the cards stick. Yes. Okay. What did I say? You got something new here. Like, you got an idea, or there's something new that and the thing is that it has the potential for big things. I think I said it in a couple of readings ago, like maybe 4 weeks ago, and I asked a question. I think in the middle of the reading, I was like, "Wait, are you afraid to be like famous? Are you afraid to, and not even famous, like, are you afraid of success, like real success? If you've never actually tasted success, are you afraid of it? Because there is something that you're a little hesitant here. You're a little hesitant. Honestly, I feel like you got people. I feel like you have people who will absolutely help you, who want to help you. I feel like you got people in your corner, you got somebody in your camp, somebody that you know already. And as a matter of fact, I'm looking at this Two of Swords card. It's somebody in your phone. You already have connection to this person or people. It's somebody that you're already connected to. They're already in your contacts. Damn. Yeah. What I say over here, I was like, there's something that you have to, like, you gotta put an end to it. Maybe this is more like, I mean, I know that the Ten of Swords is like this bitter, painful ending, right? But I'm not necessarily receiving it that way. I'm not receiving it that way. It just feels very much like same thing down here. It's like you haven't been able to actually admit to yourself that there is an aspect that's coming to an end and having to make a decision. You've got, like I said, you got a bunch of irons in the fire. You can't do it all by yourself. And I know that you've been managing very well. But in order for you to take on this new thing, and it's in order for you to take this thing on, you got to make a decision. It's like you don't even know. And it's really weird energy. It's almost like you don't even know. The people that you have, the person or people, I'm getting people, the people that are available to help you, that have either a skill or the know-how or something, you already have these people in your contacts. They're close to you. They're closer to you than you think. They're closer to you than you think. And I will say this, and this is for somebody, there's enough for everybody to eat. Because I heard somebody not wanting to leave money on the table. Like, it's weird because it kind of feels like, on one hand, I do have somebody out here that is part of the reluctance, I feel, comes with sharing the wealth as well. There is enough to go around. Okay? So if you are concerned about, if I have other people help me, that I have to like pay them or break them off, baby, let me tell you, whatever this thing is you got planned, thinking about, whatever this, you got something big coming. And if it's not already here, it's coming. But it's enough for everybody to eat. Okay? So I wouldn't really worry about it because I do have kind of an energy. I don't want to call it hoarding, but it does kind of feel like there's another layer of like, I don't necessarily want to work with other people because I want to make all the money, right? Lover's devil. Yes, we are in the business to make money, but there's enough to go around, okay? Oh my God. You're so reluctant to work with other people. You're really reluctant to working with other people. And I'm telling you, the people here that want to work with you, these are people who actually are celebrating what you do. They like, I'm like, they got love for you. They are like, this is the craziest energy. You're really reluctant to work with others. Like, what is that? But no, I get it. I understand. Like, no, I get it. I'm like, all right, so if you're afraid to work with others, because down here, that's been part of the lesson, to learn how to let your guards down so that you can, you know, so that you can work with other people. It's kind of weird because it almost feels like you're worried about, like, it's like being worried about failure. because yeah, that would be a hell of a blow to trust people to work with them and then the shit still doesn't work out. But I think part of the lesson is to just do it scared. Thank you, Spirit. Do it scared. Do it scared. That's wild. Do it scared. Okay, Spirit, hear you loud and clear. Yeah, there's something that you got to get real clear about. You got to make a decision. Like, my clarifying cards are just as loud as the first cards that came out. Yeah, because there's something here. Yeah. I'm like, oh God. Okay. So you have to make a decision. Because I feel like the efforts that you're putting in towards this one area of your life it's causing it's causing stagnation in other areas of your life. Excuse me. And it comes from the fact that you're not trying to work with other people. It's because you're not working with other people. You've rejected the idea of working with other people. I'm like, okay, because I'm looking down here. It's the same thing. It's like you got a bunch of irons in the fire. I want you to follow me here, because I'm not talking about this new opportunity. This feels like something that's already in existence. Like the thing that you need to make a decision about, it's already in your life. It's already existing in your life. But whatever this is, okay, so there's something that you are already doing or have been doing that hasn't been getting any traction. You've rejected the idea of working collaboratively with others, but that may also be the reason why it isn't getting any traction. Because again, there's some trust issues down here. I 500,000,000% understand. In ways I don't even want to go into, but I definitely understand that. Okay. But at least you're getting clear on what needs to get cut out. Like there's something that needs to get cut out. And maybe you just weren't, even though you have the ability and the capacity to do it all, there is something here that you may be overlooking. And it could be the fact that you have known, I feel like you've known some time. Like I said, I'm not receiving this Ten of Swords as it being like a painful, like maybe it's painful because maybe you invested a lot of time and money and effort into whatever this is that you've been doing and it just hasn't been giving you the results that you're looking for, right? But like my daddy always said, how many times do you need to get run over by the train before you decide to get your ass up off the tracks? And that's kind of where we are here, because it's not really whatever this is that you know you need to like eliminate. You have to make this decision. I'm trying to think of it in more positive terms, like, no, you can't do it all. This part of the main reason why this hasn't worked is because you rejected the idea of working with other people, and that you've had to just kind of trust yourself because you didn't really have anybody else to lean on for that kind of support that you needed. Holy shit. Now I'm looking at the cards. I have two decks that are very similar. This one deck is heavy in images of art and artists. This other deck, very like the backs of the decks are very similar, but the artwork is kind of similar. But this other deck, the cards that would relate to art are related to tarot, which I love these decks. Anywho, but I'm looking at this card and it's the Ace of Wands. Totally. I already know what this is for myself. Because I know it once I start this other stuff, I'm not gonna have any time to do my classes. And I love my classes, but I don't have time. I won't have time. And while it will disappoint some, a lot, it will disappoint people. But teaching at retirement homes was never my business model, so I am currently reevaluating. I'm like, this is all me. I'm currently reevaluating right now. Because I got some other shit that I need to work on. And I got some other stuff that I got coming down the pike, and I honestly can't do it all. And I have considered, and this is the reason why I like sharing my story, because I want you to see my own thought process, so that it maybe can help you with your thought process. I have considered hiring someone to help me with my classes, so that I don't necessarily have to be present and I can focus on other things. But I also recognize that one of the main reasons why my classes work at these facilities is because I've developed a relationship with the residents, and they love me and I love them. And I've been teaching since 2018, so these people know me. And when I've had discussions with them about me considering walking away from my classes for a time being, or hiring somebody to help me with the classes, it did come with like frowns and so, and it made me feel bad. So I've been trying to really figure out how to make it work, because I see the value of my classes for them, but it just isn't doing it for me anymore. Yeah. Okay. So there's a need. Remember when oh my God. These cards are loud. These cards are so loud. Okay. So we're being challenged to see something from a different point of view, especially as it relates to working with other people. Yes. And so maybe you're lamenting over a past experience where you have attempted to maybe work with other people, and it just, either turned out disastrous. I kind of feel like maybe whoever you had initially tried working with, it was the wrong people, the wrong crowd, the wrong situation. So you're being challenged right now to kind of look at it from a different point of view. Maybe in it not necessarily was the reluctance to working or the rejection of the idea of working with other people. Maybe it was the people that you were aligning yourself with. Because I feel like there is a way. I'm like, not saying that you can accomplish it all, but there is a way to get it done. But you have to figure out, because there's an energy of prioritizing something that isn't actually it doesn't feel like it's benefiting you the way that you wanted it to. Remember when I said up here, it's kind of like, you put like, maybe in the past you put your eggs all in one basket, and that basket had a hole in it, because it, like I said, it didn't necessarily give you, it was a disappointment. It didn't turn out the way that you had expected it to. And this down here is telling me that you're not, like, you hadn't thought far enough outside of the box. Like there's another way to accomplish the goal, but it's going to require you to maybe stretch your brain a little bit more. Yeah, remember when I said, are you afraid of success? Not being necessarily famous, but are you afraid, literally afraid? It's not just afraid of success, but it's also afraid of failure. You're afraid. Now, honestly, the way that I'm looking at it, it kind of feels like if you make the right decision, that things will actually turn around. Remember when I say, like, abundance is, I'm going to keep on reminding you, abundance is your birthright. So if there are certain things that are being held back and you haven't actualized any of it, or just seeing small glimpses of it, but you haven't actualized it, in its full capacity, it's because you're still holding on to someone or something that is slowing down the progress or blocking you from the overall abundance. This is one of those instances. So, and I'm laughing because last year, December, I said I was going to no longer teach at the retirement homes. 2025, I was like, I'm not teaching anymore. I want to focus on my channel and all this other stuff all these other things that I have in my head that I want to work on. And I'm like, now that I'm looking at the cards, I prematurely mentioned to one of my classes that I had been considering, dropping the classes, and then I got got all of that, and then I felt guilty, so I stayed on, even though I knew it was kind of draining my soul. I love my classes, I love the people, but I knew inside that it just wasn't, again, like I said, this teaching at retirement homes was never the model of my business, and I wasn't actually doing it the way that I wanted to do it, and so it didn't really, yes, on one hand, it was gratifying, but on the other side of it, I was like, and then trying to make up for what I was doing at breweries and bars and stuff like that, which also wasn't my business model. I did it because it was, the money was easy, but that also wasn't my business model. So when I eliminated that, while I was disappointed, again, it made me think further outside of the box. What else can you do with this, right? So I feel like there's absolutely something here that needs to go. I do believe that you already know what that is. On the other side of it, and I'm kind of laughing because I did suspend one of my facilities, but the other facility where my son works at, I still go there because I still got to pick him up from work. So not a big deal. And it's the closest one to my home. But I also know the same thing. I'm going to have to let that class go. I have to, because it's hemming up my weekends. I'm like, it's hemming up my weekends, and my weekends I got other things that I really, really want to do, and I can't have my weekends impacted. Oh. Yeah. Part of the blockage, I do feel like it's the change It's the change after having invested so much time and effort and money into whatever it is that you've already been doing. That's the blockage. I don't even call it fear of change, right? I mean, yeah, fear of the success or whatever, fear of success, fear of becoming successful. And I want to say this kind of success that we're talking about is something different than what you've ever experienced. But you're kind of like kicking a can, like, damn, you know. But that's part of the blockage here too. Like there needs to be change. Um I think maybe you're just kind of reluctant because of all the time and effort that you've already invested in building whatever it is that you've already been doing. You're kind of like kicking yourself because it's like, damn, I spent all this time, you know, building, growing this, whatever, and to just up and change it now. Um, Change is good, though. Damn. Cards is loud. Stop putting in effort to things that have lost its traction. Because I can see right here, whatever this is that you've been trying to do, it just, it's either the traction, it could even be you. Like you just don't have the drive for it anymore. And part of what needs to be released is if you don't have the drive for it, why are you continuing to invest the effort? Okay. So you're worried about, initially we talked about you being worried, there's some concern, a fear of failure if you work with other people. A fear of failure. It's like there is a fear of failure because initially we talked about you know, being able to work collaboratively with other people when initially you were just really heavily focused on doing it by yourself. You completely rejecting the idea of working with other people, but needing to see something from a different point of view. And maybe you even sacrifice. This feels very much like self-sacrifice. As a result, you ended up sacrificing, you know, yourself, how you feel about something. Yeah, okay, thank you, Spirit. I'm like, yeah, I sacrificed myself because I continue to do these classes even though I know in the back of my head I'm like, I'm not really planning for them. Like every class I have to plan in advance, you know. I try to get ahead of it weeks in advance, like, so I have paintings already ready to go, so all I got to do is just, you know, I spend a couple of days, you know, on a weekend painting, and I'll paint 4 or 5 pictures, and then I'll be like, cool, I'll have, you know, I got pictures for the next month or month and a half or whatever. And then life starts lifing, and then I don't have time to pre-plan. Like I have a class on Saturday, I don't have a picture. I haven't had time. My Christmas tree is sitting in the corner where my art table is usually sitting. I got to take the tree down before I can put my art table back up. It's just it's a lot. And so okay, Spirit. um but part of the overall lesson here is I honestly feel like you intuitively you already know what you need to do, and I think you have been, I want to say, you've been rejecting or ignoring your intuition. You've been getting these intuitive pulls and nudges and calls, and you have consistently been rejecting it just because you don't want something coming to an end, even though you know something needs to come to an end because it's time. Okay. I think I'm going to leave this here. I'm not going to pull any extra cards because this is a very separate kind of reading than what we are normally talking about. But if you've got, and this isn't like, it doesn't feel like relationship, this doesn't feel very relationshipy or anything like that. It could be business or work related. And I feel like I definitely understand why you wouldn't want to work with other people because of whatever you may have had to experience in the past. I do kind of see the lack of motivation. It's funny, my son's trying to keep the dog quiet. The dog is going nuts. Come on, Lucky. Hold on. Come on. Go outside and bark. Okay. I do see the reluctance. And honestly, I want to say this too. There is no bad decision. Whatever this, you do have something new that's coming towards you though, but I wouldn't, there is something that needs to be removed from the plate before you accept the new thing. You have something new here. Okay? Whether it's a new idea, and I do feel like whatever this new idea is has the potential for profitability. Okay? There is, when I said there's enough to go around, there is enough to go around. So don't worry about having to share the wealth with people. If folks are actually showing up to help you, kick them down a couple of bucks. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry about having to share the revenue. I honestly don't think, I don't get a weird nefarious feeling for this. I just feel like even before, okay, so because I kind of feel like there's this opportunity you don't actually, because this is in the background, and even these clarifying cards are still telling me you may not actually know about this opportunity that's kind of here in the wings for you. Okay, there is the potential here, and there is an opportunity for you to work with other people, and there are people here that actually would support you. Okay, you don't need to be so rigid about working with others here, because this feels a lot more like trusting your own intuition when it comes to the people that you're dealing with. Because if you're listening to your intuition, you're really listening to your gut, you will know that the people, and I know we talk about this all the time, like we're cutting folks off left and right, and a lot of times people feel like I don't have anybody left to cut off. Sometimes it's not a person, sometimes it's a situation, a thing, a something, you know what I mean? And so it could, and sometimes it's the one thing that you just have not even considered. So think about that too, okay? But you, like I said, you don't necessarily see that there's this potential of opportunity here that's really close. It feels very, very close. But the thing that I want you to know is that you do have people in your camp that would absolutely support you and be willing to support you, learn from you, or there's somebody available that could be a valuable teacher to you to help you accomplish your goal. But there is something on the plate that's got to go. I don't know what that is for you. I know what it is for me. I don't know what it is for you. But really sit with yourself. And really, this has come out a few times. I think for the most part, you probably already know what it is. And it's already been on your mind, and you just haven't taken action. You know, because this feels very much like and it feels very looming. Like, you got to make this decision. Because it's not getting any better. Like, it literally is not getting any better. And it's just time for you to just let it go. Because even this up here, I've got the 4 of Swords here, the 10 and the 6 of Swords down here is 10 swords over here. So it's kind of like I said, I don't have the sense that it's like something that is so, 10 of Swords is usually this, painful. It doesn't feel painful. It's just kind of like, it's time. Whatever it is, it's time. All right, I'm going to leave it there, guys. If any parts of this reading resonate for you, gave you clarity or confirmation of your own story, give the video a thumbs up. Hype your girl up. If you're interested in a personal reading more aligned with your own story, all of my information is below in the description box. I invite you to join me for a session. Again, if you're interested in a numerology report or reading, get with my girl Lena Natali. All of her information is also in the description box in my collective directory. And again, if you have a service or merchandise or things, cards, candles, whatever you got, send me a sample or shoot me an email with your website or whatever, and I'll promote you because, like I said, there's enough to go around for everybody. All right. I love you guys. Until next time, I will see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.